Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how the enemy loves to see you sweat. They want to see you sweat, dripping from wall to wall, you know what I mean, spiritually and physically. So what kind of dove me into the subject today was, it was like this old quote or saying, like, you know, don't let the enemy see you sweat. You know, don't let them see you like stumbling and falling. And today in today's society, it's a little harder to not allow people to see you sweat, to not allow people to see you fumbling and bumbling. One, because we're extra exposed due to all the technology, and two, just because, you know, we choose to put ourselves out there. The way I feel about not allowing the enemy to see you sweat, and I said feel because I'm very aware of the words that I'm using. So when I'm using these terms of not allowing the enemy to see you sweat, right, it should be more so based on not allowing the enemy to see you stay down, you know. And if you are sweating, the enemy see you sweating, how fast can you wipe that sweat up and clean yourself up, pick yourself up by the bootstraps and get back up and get back to it? And a lot of this is going to be more prevalent just because we in the middle of this spiritual war, and we all understand like the enemy is working a lot of different tactics on us right now. And some of the best things and solutions and tactics you can do to kind of counter this is by making sure that if you do get knocked down, or when you do get knocked down, that you are getting up. You know what I mean? Let's say somebody had formed a weapon against you, you know what I mean? It's no guarantee that that weapon is gonna prosper, but you may feel the effects of them making the weapon in the process, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like if you saw somebody making a knife and you went over there like, oh, let me see what this is, you know what I mean? And it wasn't all the way ready. Let's say you touched it, a piece broke, or a piece cut you a little bit or something like that. That's not the weapon getting its full use against you the way it's supposed to. And we already understand with the smear campaigns, a lot of people talking bad about us to people, you know, to just kind of put this bad condensation and energy on us. Then you have the other tactics that they use, like they'll try to do things to tweak your finances or to get you to tweak your finances, because we all understand how important the money is. Money isn't life, but we do need money secondary to water. You know, if you're in Western society, you need the money secondary to water and food. Or I guess third, you got your water, food, and then you have your money. But the money doesn't come before the food and the water, you know. But they'll do things to try to tweak that out too as well, you know. They'll have something happen with your car, or maybe they don't come pick you up for a ride and they knew you really needed a ride somewhere, and now they just hoping that you don't make your appointment, you don't make whatever you had scheduled or lined up, you know, because these are little sly ways that they want to see you sweat, certain ways that they want to try to break you and fold you. And when you are aware of these tactics, you always tend to work harder at keeping your faith. And faith is always one of those tricky, difficult ones, because it's something that you don't see. You don't see it. But for most of us, we understand that I don't see the food's smell. You know, I don't see fragrances. You don't see the tail end of a quote-unquote fart, your body pushing out toxins, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that you don't see, but it's still here in this realm, and we should understand that. The wind, we all experienced it, you know, it's here. We don't see the wind, but we get the cause and effect of the wind. You don't see the wind, so we should already understand that it's other realms that's being worked in, that's being worked on, in other realms that control and dictate this physical realm that we're in right now. And we in the battlefield. So if you got people constantly working to kind of knock you down, see you sweat, you know what I mean, and you doing your best not to show that you sweating, it's gonna make it harder. It's like me running a mile and then trying to keep dabbing my face so nobody see me sweat while I run the mile. Fuck that. I'm gonna run this mile, you gonna see me sweat, and then you gonna see me win and finish this motherfucking race. It's that simple. Some things we make more complicated than what it needs to be, you know. Of course, like, if somebody like is intentionally trying to rile you up with their words, you have to, if you haven't mastered your emotions, you don't want to just start reacting. You want to respond, react. Respond, react. Don't just react. A reaction is like when the doctor hits your knee with that little thing. They hit your knee, boom, your leg goes straight out. That's a reaction. You don't want it to be that fast of a reaction to where when the doctor hits your knee, you have no control over that. It's your natural body function to be responsive when a certain nerve gets hit or gets affected or gets some pressure applied to it. So when you understand these things, in the world, in the life that I walk, it's always obstacles. It's always gonna be big ass trials. Like it's never no, oh, you just gonna get the judge. No, I have big ass trials where it's multiple, and I mean spiritually. I'm not talking about physically, spiritually. I have big ass trials, so if I was one of those beings, or if any of us was some of those beings who had to wait for the perfect time, the right time to do certain things, then we wouldn't get it done. Because we be sitting there waiting, oh, I just want to wait till I get this car fixed, or I just want to wait till I get this place over here, oh, I just want to wait till I get that old energy off me, oh, I just want to wait till I get this new material product that could possibly help me, instead of me just starting out with the items and products that I have, We wouldn't be where we are today if our concern was whether they saw us sweat or not. For most of us, we concerned on whether we stay down or not, how fast we recover from the blows that they are swinging and throwing at us. That's the most important thing about this battle. Everybody can throw a punch, but everybody doesn't take a hit as well, That's why everybody don't box. That's why you got some people who street fight, all they do is throw haymakers because they are so concerned with getting hit. Their defense isn't strong enough for them to take a hit. I done seen big people get put down, knocked out, just put in bad positions because they aren't used to having to defend themselves in that way. In their world, they just see themselves as brute force and what they can do to you. So not anything wrong with that concept, because the way I be viewing things, I have that same approach. I never look at people like, oh, that man could beat me. I always process things as like, all right, I know what I would have to do if I got a buddy I went to school with. We don't got no beef or anything. I'm just using him as an example. He was on my Godcast too. But Big E, he like 6'8", 6'9", damn near almost 400 pounds. You know what I mean? So for me, he a teddy bear, But I know if it came to a situation where it was just me and him and no weapons, he is way fucking bigger than me. So I automatically have to think of different tactics on where his weak spots would be at, as far as if I was to have that interaction, that engagement with him on that level, And it'd be more so based on defense, how I'm going to defend myself from this big motherfucker, and how can I counter with a better attack, And how to not allow him to get so much pressure on me that I cannot get up. Because somebody that big, once they put their weight on you, 10 times out of 10, you're going to have a hard-ass time getting up, So just being mindful, like a lot of these things that we experience, like look back, time travel, rewind the clock back, right? Rewind it back, and you have to go into the past. Use your fruits. Everything that you've been through, you have to use that in order to help you navigate through the future. Most of us, we tend to only use like the things that didn't feel good to us, we don't want to experience again. So we know that when we kind of get a little piece of it, let's say like you don't like onions on your food. Anytime an onion comes near your food, you're gonna know, because that energy is already attached to it. Instead of you processing the onion like, okay, this is for my body, this isn't for my spirit. My spirit isn't taking this onion with me, but this onion is gonna be better for my body, so I can have my avatar, functioning at its highest capacity. We don't stay down, and they're going to continuously apply pressure from all angles. You may have somebody like this how weird it gets sometimes. Let's say you get up, you get a weird text, call, message, you know what I mean, to start your day before you even get rolling, right? That's already one kink. Now you running around trying to get yourself dressed to get out the house, and the one item you looking for, you cannot find. I don't care what it is. We all have those situations where you're like, damn, I just need that one sock, or I'm just trying to find this one hair tie, or I just need to figure out where I put my wallet at. It's always that one item. Once we start getting these things more organized and more set in stone, right? It'll become easier when we battle in this process, because now you got these two things that's done already tweaked your energy. So now you get out the house, now you got traffic, which is tweaking your energy because somebody decided to be a dick and cut you off, or you just behind grandma, or somebody young just driving extremely under the speed limit because they're robots. Their process is, I have to go and do exactly what they say. It says 25 miles, we will drive 25, not 24 or 26, you know. And then you got the people who want to go under. You're in a rush. You don't have an issue with them. You just trying to get from point A to point B. And because these are the only lanes that we have in outer space, because this realm is outer space. Your inner space is in here. This whole thing right here, this is all outer space. Every single piece of this is outer space. Our car, these are spaceships. The Jetsons was a far out extended version. Most humans won't feel comfortable living that high above the ground, knowing every day you could take the wrong step and fall down and die. The ground provides us safety and security. Once you leave this safety and security, you understand these things. That's even hanging out. If you ever even had a tree house or a clubhouse or something like that that's off the ground, you understand that it's nice and cool up there. But in the back of your mind, you always have to be a little bit careful and cautious, because you got to watch your step, because it's a long fall down, you know? So once you understand that, all right, boom, you got up, now you got these obstacles, bong, bong, bong. They trying to make you sweat. They trying to put you on your knees. They trying to break you before you even get your day rolling. So you knock those tasks out the way, but then you still got to figure out how to push forward and knock down the other obstacles and complete some of your other tasks and missions that you was already planned on completing, which requires new energy. When we go into new spaces, you need new energy. You need your energy recharged so that way you can push through more in that unknown space. These are just some small, simple tactics that will help you when you are having a large amount of pressure applied on you, you know? Because if the pressure was what was breaking us, pressure is making us into diamonds, you know? The other beings, they breaking and folding, you know? Pressure bust pipes over there. But we formulating diamonds. That's why it's not that many of us. It is and it's not. When I say it's a lot of us that's moving righteously, right? But it's not as many warriors. That's what I mean, the ones who actually standing up for people that they don't even know. So a lot of us who do this more righteously, y'all got to understand that we fighting battles for people that we don't know, because they're on a certain vibration with us still too, you know. All of these things come into play. But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I mean? They want to see you sweat, but it's really about how fast you can recover. Don't put a whole lot of pressure and emphasis on wiping yourself in the middle of a race, because if you process it, it's going to look crazy. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh. That's why people usually get like sweatbands, headbands, and all these things to keep the sweat from dripping down in their eyes. If you got a dab while you're running because you done ran a couple miles, that's different. That's not the same thing, you know. So just keep these things in mind, you know what I'm saying? They want to see you sweat. They want to see you fold. They want to see you break. They going to apply that pressure, and it's your job to make sure your defense is tight, and that your recovery game is nice, and that your awareness is beyond theirs, you know what I mean? But I ain't gonna run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.